Hello, welcome family. Welcome again to your favorite YouTube channel, Miss TV, Miss Tales and Voyages. It's all about sharing experiences and stories of your family and friends here in the diaspora, and also telling you and showing you places that will thrill you, that will marvel you, that are of interest, so that you will know where to go during your next visit. Today we have an interesting personality to discuss with you. But before then, we are so privileged to be sponsored by Arc Hair Collections. Arc Hair Collections. You see my hair? So beautiful, right? Okay, we have been sponsored by this beautiful hair. We are able to buy very natural, pure, 100% pure human hair, and we can get them at very affordable prices. You would really love to know who we are going to talk and discuss with. His experiences are so interesting. He happens to be the first African pastor to be ordained as a Korean licensed pastor. He stayed here for a while, and then he really has a wealth of knowledge, information, and experiences, even wisdom to give us. Come with me. Let's welcome Reverend Dr. Daniel Apiakrang. Hello, welcome, sir.
Hello.
You're most welcome, and we are very grateful that you joined us here on Miss Tales and Voyages.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here today.
It's such an honor.
Thank you.
Sir, please, could you please explain who you are to me? In fact, tell us, me and my fans, about yourself.
Okay. I'm Daniel Apiakoran. I'm an ordained pastor. Just completed my PhD program, a doctorate. So just few weeks for my graduation. I have been in Korea for a while, and I can say by the grace of God, we have been putting a little effort to see the kingdom of God, travel and expand in this area. Thank you. I think that is a little about me.
Wow, wow. Please, you forgot to tell us about your family. Do you have a
Oh,
family back home? You have a family here in
yeah,
Korea?
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
have?
that's true. I have a wonderful and a beautiful wife, so sweet. I love her so much, and she has been a support to ministry, to my education, to my whole life here in Korea, and also two wonderful sons. Yeah, and they are also lovely. If you have an encounter with them, you love to be with them all the time. Yeah, so that's just a small part of me when it comes to family.
Wow. So, Miss TV fans, I guess it's too late for us. Anyway, we are happy for them. Okay, Pastor, could you please tell us about your journey to South Korea? Why did you come here in the first place?
Um, my journey started in 2009, sorry. Okay,
Okay.
2009. I came here to school. I did my undergrad here and did my master's and also PhD. So from 2009 till now, I think I've been in a school in education channel all this while, and also doing ministry. Yeah.
Wow. So, how are you able to combine all these three, right? Because I guess that these three are all full-time job.
Sure.
You're a full-time student, you're a full-time father or family man, and you're a full-time minister of the kingdom. Oh, please tell us more.
Uh, Let me begin with education.
Okay.
When I came here to 2009 as an undergrad, I I was alone.
Okay.
Okay, so I my major was in theology.
Mm.
Yeah, my major was in theology, and I tried to do my second major in social welfare.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I entered into the graduate school, I majored in Christian education. Yeah,
Mm.
but we have two. We have the masters in divinity and then masters in theology.
Mm.
So we call this one MDiv and then the other one THM.
Okay.
Okay, so personally, I went to the MDiv. The reason why I went to the MDiv is that the MDiv prepares you more in the area of ministry.
Mm.
And also, when you want to enter into the academic, there is a room for you to write thesis, which
Okay.
gives you that privilege to go into the
Mm.
academics. But when
Mm.
it comes to THM, it is just pure academics.
Okay.
So if you want to come into ministry, it's a little bit controversial when it comes to Korea.
Wow. How controversial is it? Because as far as we know, back home, if you have the gift of prophecy, if you have the gift of teaching, if you are able to, pray hard and or for longer hours enough, that should qualify you to become a pastor. Why is it controversial in the case of Korea?
Uh, when I came to Korea, I tried to find a little bit, about the Church of Korea, something unique.
Mm.
And the reason is this: when it comes to leadership,
Okay.
leadership, they have certain kind of criteria. One, the Korean church, for instance, in Ghana, where I'm from,
Okay.
I was born, raised in the Church of Pentecost.
Mm.
That is where I served before I came to Korea.
So you were not a pastor before coming?
No.
Okay.
So when I served over there, in Church of Pentecost, the church is growing, and everywhere the church grows, they all report to the national office, right, which is the national headquarters in Accra.
Mm.
So they have the national headquarters, they have the area heads, regional heads, then they have the districts, then coming down to the assembly. And they all is a channel of leadership to the national head. But when it comes to Korea, the same Church of Pentecost, maybe, for instance, for example, because we don't have Church of Pentecost at that time here in Korea.
Ah, you didn't have then?
No, but
Okay, so now you
there
do.
is,
All
there
right.
is,
Okay.
there is one, yeah, and I think about two branches in different places here in Korea.
Okay.
But before there was no Church of Pentecost, so I'm just using it as an example for people
Okay.
to understand it.
Okay.
Okay, so in Korea, for instance, if Church of Pentecost is in Korea, and then let's say a branch is open, that branch becomes autonomous. Okay, autonomous. It's no more under directly reporting to the national head office, because this is how the Korean church did their system. The whole churches have their national umbrella,
Okay.
and that national umbrella is there to governs the whole other churches.
Mm.
So, for instance, I'm in a particular church. The church has seen that there is grace on me. The gift of God is there. The dedication, the commitment, everything is there. And they see the pastoral office in me,
Mm.
like to if I can be a pastor, to be better. The church can only recommend me to the main uh, nation board.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like Ghana. I think we have the what do they? I think it's about Christian
Council.
Council.
Yes,
Yes,
the
yes,
Christian
the Christian
Council.
Council.
Yes.
Almost the same.
Okay.
Okay, so they have a council for, let's say, for the Presbyterian body,
Mm.
a council like that. So he will recommend you to the council. Okay, the pastor.
But you are not talking about the person who wants to be the pastor.
No, it is the pastor who is heading that church, because they have
So,
seen that the gift is in you.
so what about me? Is it because my church pastor is recommending it's fine, or I have a say to say, oh, maybe I have a choice, I'm not interested
I
or
think
something?
that surely there has been a conversation
Okay, all right.
where the pastor has seen that you can become a leader.
Okay, so in summary, your commitment and the grace and the gift of you.
Everything
Then
is
from
there.
that, if you are interested, you first go
first
to the pastor
pastor.
in
Then
church.
the pastor
Okay.
also recommend you.
Okay.
But here
Okay.
is the reason why I said the MDiv and then the THM is two different waves. Okay, the Korean council, church council, make sure that your minimum education is within the Master of Divinity.
In any case, I am a prophet. What do I need? That is works of the Spirit, right? You don't need.
Yeah,
Really?
you are a prophet, no doubt. The gift is there. But they believe that education is also there to support you to function properly.
Okay, so in other words, they believe that Timothy should study to show
To
himself
show himself
approved.
approved. Yes, that is it. Yeah, let's put it that way. So, when you are recommended, actually, the first thing your pastor will do is to advise you to go back to school.
Okay,
Yeah. For
so
instance,
in the case of someone who does not already have the MDiv,
MD, your pastor will recommend you to go to school.
okay, so how many years, if you did MDiv, how
Yeah.
many years or in
THM takes
THM?
you 2 years. The MD takes you 3 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
have to go for further studies for a year?
No. For instance, you finish, let's say, your first degree,
Okay,
right?
okay,
And
okay.
then you have this, then there are schools where the pastor can introduce to you, go back and do your MD, Master of Divinity, for 3 years.
Wow.
So when you are done with the Master of Divinity, you now come. Then they recommend you, letter of recommendation with other document to the National Council. Then the National Council will now take it from there to take you through a process.
After the recommendation, but I heard that, a lot of pastors I know, they said, oh, Samuel served under
Yeah,
Eli,
yeah.
and then, Timothy, like,
Yeah.
it's like there should be some sort of apprenticeship, right?
Yeah.
So after you're already an apprentice, what process else do you need?
I think one thing I have come to understand about the Korean system is that they believe that lack of education can cause a minister of the gospel. Truly, from the very beginning, the person was gifted and have everything, but lack of education can affect the person to enter into a heretical teaching.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I
So
see.
they have that kind of, so they are very conscious of heresy. Yeah, they are very much conscious of that. So every time you are ministering or doing everything, they try to see to it that you don't go overboard, where you preach something different from what the scripture is saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is why I say that their system is a little bit different, because in my country there are churches who just ordained members who are really gifted, they have the grace, they have all the things that when we come to ministry, they have not attained a higher education. Sometimes they are even struggling within the biblical interpretations.
Mm, mm,
But because the gift is there, the person has the gift of prophecy, the gift of healing is there. Let's say faith, the gift of faith, discernment, or whatever kind of graces God have made available to the church can be with that person. But when it comes to exegesis,
mm.
the person is lacking insight. Why? Because the educational level into the biblical studies is not there.
Wow.
Yeah, so the person can enter into heretical teachings,
Exactly.
which is a situation I think the Church of Korea tried to avoid.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so you said they would take you through a process. Can you walk us briefly through that?
Okay. It's a little bit a long process. First, when your whole document has been submitted to them, they will contact you directly.
Okay.
And then after they contact you, they first will recommend you to certain areas of study. And that area of study, they will recommend. For me, they recommended church history,
Mm.
Christian ethics, Christian administration.
Wow.
Okay, church administration, and some biblical passages where you have to study.
Mm.
Then they will also,
Do they have a book they will give you that has all these, or you have to find out for yourself?
no, they sometimes they do recommend certain books,
Okay.
sometimes,
All right.
but they don't restrict you only on that particular books. And then also they will take you through personal interviews. The personal interview takes a series, and then after the interview you will have to go through an examination.
Written
Yeah,
examination?
written examination. Yeah, you have to go through written examination. My time, it was Corona season, so I have to do the written examination through the Zoom and the internet. So that while they were monitoring all of us on the Zoom, and then they pop the questions up, then you have to be clicking, checking, writing, whatever. You have to put them into it, and immediately you put them in and click it, it goes to them. Yeah. But on the normal ground, they bring all of you into a particular
Hall.
hall where
Okay.
you do that.
Mm.
But because at that time it was Corona, I have to do it online. Yeah. And then after the whole exam, they now bring all of you into those who will pass. Let me put it that way. Those who will pass through the process, because every process screens some people out. Yeah. Wow. It screens some people out. Then they will bring all of you, and now they do personality checks. How you.
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
After interview,
yeah.
after written exams, after screening, upon screening, you still do personality checks for the military?
It's not a military.
Family, let us hear from you. Does this go on in your country? Please drop it in the comment section.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. Whoa.
Yeah. So the personality checks is being done to find out how your relationship with people are, how you are able to handle certain situations. The reason is clear. You are dealing with people.
Exactly.
The kingdom needs people.
So, do they really pick people's numbers and then call them directly, or how actually do they do that?
Okay, from the past before I came in, because my time was Corona. Okay, so before I came in, I was able to talk to one of the pastors
Okay.
who went through the same process. So he told me that they will take you, all of you, out to a camp, sometimes to a prayer mountain, sometimes to a resort, where you will be there for about 3 or 4 days. And there are a series of things that are going on, and they are monitoring, they are thinking, they are trying to see to it that you are able to, pull yourself together. Yeah, in situations like this or like that, or how you relate with other people in a confined area. Some of the things. So these are some of the things they do. And then after they have now finalized everything, then they announce the names for the ordinations. Then it's a nationwide program, a nationwide. All the Christian televisions and all that televisions do come, and there they ordain the group of people who have gone through the process, and then after they send you back to the church where they recommended you. And now the church will also embrace you, welcome you, and then give you the pulpit to minister. After that, the church can decide to know your plans, whether you also want to start a new ministry, or you want to support other ministries. You can support the same church, or you can even support another church. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's not a restriction that because you are here, you're supposed to be there. No, there are other churches which need support, where you can go and support. Sorry. And then after, when you want to start ministry, yes, the church will support you to go get a place where you want your location.
Oh, your own church.
Yeah.
Your mother church. If
Yeah.
you want to start your own ministry, your mother church
will support you, take you to the places where you want to start a ministry, and everything you want to do. They begin with you. They support you, and as little as the church is, as young as the church is, the mother church will be paying tithe to the church till the church grows and stand on her feet.
I think that is where some atheists they draw their argument that Malachi Malachi is not for us. It's for the churches who have been squandering the Pastor, what's your intake on that?
When it comes to tithing, yes, in the Old Testament, tithing was real. It was there. And in the New Testament too, there is some passages that brings that view. Even though Jesus did not tackle it as he tackled certain areas of the whole Old Testament teachings. And one thing I also want to do that, the tithing has certain principles. The only thing is that we have maybe we went overboard. Because what it is meant for, if the people don't see it, because the tithe is not just for the priesthood alone. There are rules. There are rules. There are the ones that are for the priesthood. There are the ones that are not for the priesthood.
Please, family, this issue of tithing is quite a hot debate. Would you have us bring Pastor again on the seat to discuss tithing? Please put them down in your comment section. I think we would love to hear what Pastor will say about tithing. But we are all in unison. Let us hear from you down below the comment. Remember to share, to subscribe. It's getting much more fun. Okay, Pastor, please talk to us about being the first. Am I right?
Okay.
Yeah, being the first licensed African pastor in Korea. You can combine it with your whole ministry, like your ministry here in Korea as a whole.
Okay. I think when you asked me about how do I combine my education, my ministry, and then my family, yeah, that's true. I think a little bit bad education is being said, right?
Okay.
So let me just bring you back to where you are asking me. You know, when I came, I finished my MD 2016. That was when I finished my MD. And 2018, I decided to think about going for my PhD program. So when I started my PhD program, there was a PhD candidate
Okay.
in my school who was also close to me. So one day I was there, he just called me and said, "Oh, Daniel, there is this thing. I think you can fit in." So he told me that there is a pastor he wants to introduce me to, and he gave me a number. So I called the pastor and we spoke, and then he said, "Okay, the KAICOM, which is the Korean Independent Churches body, yeah, they will, I should contact their office." So I came, I called the office. So they asked me some few questions. I answered them. Then they told me that I should go to my pastor and talk to my pastor. So I went to my church. I spoke with the pastor, and the pastor said, "Since I'm willing and I want to do it," and
Okay, so that's how your journey as a Korean,
yeah, to be
okay,
ordained,
licensed
yeah,
pastor started.
yeah,
Okay,
started.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so
So now, after having gone through the whole process, now you're an ordained pastor.
right.
Yes. What next? What afterwards?
So I went through the process I told you, and I was ordained. That was in 2021.
Okay.
Then after the ordination, I have been serving in that same church as the
And you were
foreign
brought
pastor.
back.
Yeah, so I was brought back
Okay.
because I was the pastor for the foreigners. Even though I was not ordained in Korea, but I was in charge
Okay.
of those foreign ministry
Okay.
because it wasn't big. There was a pastor who was in charge of it, and he was sent to a Liberian mission.
Okay. So you took over.
So they told me to take over this.
So being the one in charge of foreigners, you yourself, you're a foreigner. Foreigners serving foreigners on foreign lands.
Yeah.
Please share with us, what are some of your experiences? How difficult or easy is it to become a diasporan pastor? Head pastor, I mean, because we spoke to a pastor who said that he did not have to go through much of the stress because his head pastor took care of that.
Okay.
So you being a head pastor, can you please cushion us up where, yes.
Actually, as a foreign church, normally we do have some members from the main church that do come and support. They are missionaries.
Okay.
They are missionaries ordained from the main church, and they come
Okay,
to
so
support the
Korean missionaries come to the foreign department to help.
yeah, to
Okay,
support.
all right.
So one, when it comes to language,
Okay.
even though I have some level of the Korean language, but not perfect. So there are many things that goes deeper I can't handle
Okay.
because the understanding is not really clear. So the missionaries are there to do those kind of things.
Okay.
There are certain places that we need to go or we need to contact and get certain information or certain kind of support for the foreign church or for people we are taking care of, and they do much of the job.
Okay.
Okay, so my major job is to make sure all the foreigners in the church are well taken care of, spiritually and physically.
Physically?
Yeah. The issue here is that when the person is sick, call pastor. So pastor have to move the car, go pick them up to the hospital, go through other things, bring the if the pastor is not available, the pastor wife has to go. You see. So these are some of the challenges. And two, also when the person have any challenges at the workplace, yes, the pastor will be called. Pastor, I worked here, nobody, they did not pay me. Pastor, I did this, they didn't do this one for me. So you have to come in, communicate, try to find a way to get it to the person. So these are physical kind of things. And then the spiritual thing comes in the church, comes to the other meetings like Friday meeting, prayer meetings, Wednesday, and we have some programs we organize for them. So they are all part of the job.
Wow, I guess you people are doing a very great job here. Yeah.
And,
Wow. Okay, Pastor, please, let's talk about challenges. Being a pastor, you're already a leader to a lot of foreigners here.
right.
So, please, what are some, apart from health and maybe job issues, what are some peculiar challenges that your members bring to you, especially social challenges or legal challenges they are concerning their stay here?
All right. Actually, Korea is. I have not I have traveled to some places, but not staying there to understand the system.
Okay, countries you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Some
Yes,
countries.
some
You've been to a
countries.
couple countries,
Yeah.
but since you've not lived there, you cannot
I don't
compare to
understand
Korea.
it
Okay.
perfectly, but here I can tell. One, uh, most of the foreigners are having challenges when it comes to documentation. The reason is that the visas are available. Most of them did not come with the kind of visa that will be able to help them acquire those kind of visas. And naturally, it becomes like you are illegal, so many things are not in your favor.
Exactly.
So, one, most of them, they don't have national insurance. So when they go to the hospital, the cost is really high, extremely high.
Does the pastor have to support?
That one, most of the times, the pastor have to find a way to support the person because the person may not have enough money, and sometimes you have to consult some NGOs, call people try to find any way you can to make sure that what needs to be taken care of is being taken care of, so that the person can be attended to. So these are some of the challenge, and another challenge is that when the person needs job, even though you, the pastor, you are not working, they will call you that, pastor, I need job. So you have to be calling. And if there is, you call the person or go to the so and so place. I heard there is a job there. Go and see. You know.
So, does the church have some jobs that they can make available for the people? Because since the pastor himself might not be working, yet must find jobs for other people. If so, then why not the church get? Is it possible here?
Yeah, because one, personally, I'm a full-time student, a full-time ministry, and a family man. So sometimes, because of school, you cannot get full-time job. And
you
in
can work
Korea,
only about how many
you
hours?
only have 20 hours in a week.
Which company will employ you for that?
Yeah, and Korea don't work hourly. They work monthly.
Okay.
So it becomes very difficult to get that kind of hourly job where you can say that, oh, I will work 5 hours here, 3 hours there, so that within the week I'm 20 hours. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Then how do you take care of yourself and your family?
Actually,
Or do you have your present or your gift in heaven? Like we hear, family, what do you think? Eh? His reward is great in heaven. Like so?
yeah, though the the church do support me with some allowances.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not salary.
not salary. I'm
Okay.
not on salary,
Okay.
but some allowances. Yeah, and then in the past too, before I became fully ordained, I normally go for day work if there is.
Okay.
Yeah, if there is a day work, I just go for it. If I have the time, I'm not going to school or I don't have any other things to do, then I go for it. So here and there, the Lord also uses some people to bless me. And before I know, the month is over. We are in another month. And then we are just moving on little by little. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and even till now, I'm not full time, like I'm not on salary. I'm still on allowances. Yeah, so this is also a challenge because sometimes you have to go through a lot of financial stress because there are some days I I got a job on my way going, a church member will call you, there is an emergency, you have to quit.
Exactly.
You have to
Yeah.
stop and just follow up the person and see that, oh, the person is okay, or try to find a solution to the situation.
Does language also play or contribute to your work like this?
Yes, yes. Language is one of the major issues when it comes to Korea, especially when it comes to the African community. You find only few people who give themselves to studying the language, and so most of them, they find it difficult to learn. I don't know whether it is intentional or because the language itself is difficult, so they give up. And that is one of the major challenge. And two, sometimes means of transportation. Sometimes.
Means of transportation?
Yeah.
How about
Like the person is sick. He
Okay.
doesn't know how to get to the ambulance and all those things. So sometimes they will call you, oh, Pastor, can you pick me up because I am So it's
So
not
it means that if they were to be a little okay with the language, then the work
they will
even will
be
be
able,
less
yes,
on the
they will be able
pastor
to call the ambulance, or maybe they will be able to even navigate themselves
themselves
through.
through. But if so, since we already know the problem, why not maybe organize classes, Korean classes? Since you understand, you can even teach them, you can get some missionaries to assist them. Is it possible?
Before, before the corona,
We,
we did it,
okay.
but sometimes the people who come, they are not consistent. Okay, they
They
will
rotate.
they will
You
come
go for 2 weeks, I go for 2 weeks.
they will come this time, they will not come the other time. So before you realize what has been taught today, this person knows it, the other person doesn't. So
Why? Why is it so? Because I think that if you really want to study something to be independent, you should stay committed to it.
yeah,
Why is it so?
yeah, that is true. One, uh, their working time is a challenge because the person is working today. Before you know, most of the classes we did organized was in on Sunday
Okay.
after service, but the person is working overtime. He is not coming to church on that
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay.
Somebody will say, "Oh, my company, we work 2 Sundays. We have 2 Sundays free." Okay, so it's a little bit
Wow. I
challenging.
think life here in South Korea will be so like unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are not by yourself. You are not on your own. You are being swayed here and there. Okay, Pastor, please, we'll come to you again. We always come again. Yes, because after our family would have listened to you speak, they would have a lot of, questions for you. So we always come back after we gather them. Am I right? Okay, put your questions down in the comment below. Yes. Okay, Pastor, please, let's round up here before we
Okay.
come another time. Do you have, first, you talked about how visa issue has become a burden on your people. We hope and we trust God that an appeal could be made, and then the leadership of the Korean government or the Korean people would do something about it. If you have the opportunity to make a humble plea, what will it be for your people?
Oh, one, you know, my ministry is not only to a particular country. We have different countries.
Only
I think
Africans or
only
globally?
Africans. We
Okay.
have some Taiwan people do come.
Okay. Okay.
We have some Haiti people do come.
Okay.
So oh, it's a whole. I think close to 10 or 11 countries
Okay.
representing in the ministry.
Okay. Europeans,
Yeah,
Asians as
Asians,
well.
right.
Okay.
And so uh, most of them face the same challenge. Most of them face the same challenge. And I think people are the only thing we need in building a nation, in building a community, in building a society. Without people, any of this doesn't exist. A nation can never exist without people. Community doesn't exist without people. Even society doesn't exist without people. It is people that bring all these things together, and it is people that are being managed to make sure that that community become fruitful, become profitable. And so, if leadership will see the importance of people and know that it doesn't matter, maybe the means they came was illegal. But if there is a room to manage them, to make them fruitful for the prosperity of the community, why not? It is important to study and understand that even though they came illegally, there is also a positive way we can look at it and make it, work together for good. So if the nation can think of it and consider that maybe this set people or a group of people can be taken care of or managed in a way that they can be much industrious to the nation and even profitable to their own people. We are solving two-way problem.
Exactly.
We are solving the economic crisis and we are solving the global situation. Because all the world nations come together to solve the whole global challenge. Sometimes they bring poverty alleviation projects. It's just to solve the whole global poverty problem. And the same person who is here is working and sending it to maybe families back home who are going through financial challenges. And without this person working, the poverty crisis is going higher. So somehow, there are two faces to every coin. It depends how you look at it. If you only focus on one side, you might not see that the other side have something unique. So it's better we look at the two sides and see how we can even turn both sides and work it out to become a positive thing.
You also took a deep sigh, right? Yes. Let us have a look at the human race. We look at people as one people. Yes, we look at people as having the unity aspect of it. Family, you have come this far with us, and we are very grateful to you. It's your favorite YouTube channel, Miss TV, Miss Tales and Voyages, sharing the experiences and wonderful stories like this with you. You can never hear any of these from anywhere else except Miss Tales and Voyages. Today we were so lucky to have been blessed by the presence of Reverend Dr. Daniel Apiakrang. And it has been so fun and very educative and informative. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
You're welcome.
It was such an honor hosting you.
Thank you.
And we are very grateful, and we trust and hope our next time of inviting you will be honored equally.
Sure, for sure. I'm available.
Oh, thank you so much. So, family, please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. It's all about sharing the tales and interesting places with you. Bye-bye. 안녕히 가세요. Thank you, sir.